На Дне открытых дверей нашей магистерской программы, которая называется Governance of Science, Technology and Innovation. Меня зовут Леонид Гохберг, я первый проректор Высшей школы экономики. Немножко вам расскажу о устройстве Высшей школы экономики и нашей магистерской программы. А потом, у нас есть некоторая программа этого Дня открытых дверей. Вот профессор Дирк Майснер, который является академическим руководителем этой магистерской программы, мы вам расскажем чуть подробнее, как это все устроено. Вот здесь есть несколько наших ведущих преподавателей, которые по возрасту, может быть, от вас не очень сильно отличаются, но весьма такие серьезные люди при этом. И потом как-то так поговорим про ваши интересы возможные. А можно вас попросить поднять руки те, кто учится в Высшей школе экономики, если такие есть? Двое, отлично. То есть вам уже кое-что про вышку известно. Коротко расскажу, в чем, собственно, особенность вот этой программы и той команды, которая этой программой занимается. Как вы знаете, традиционно общеобразовательные программы реализуются на разного рода факультетах, кафедрах, в учебных департаментах и прочее. Особенность этой программы состоит в том, что ее реализует не факультет, не один из факультетов Высшей школы экономики, а один из ее научно-исследовательских институтов, который называется по-русски Институт статистических исследований экономики знаний. Вот этот Институт for Statistical Studies and Economics of Knowledge. Это самый большой научно-исследовательский институт Высшей школы экономики, в котором работает более 200 человек, и примерно 300 человек работают в этом институте part-time в качестве привлекаемых экспертов в течение года. Если говорить в целом про Высшую школу экономики, то это сегодня университет по масштабам сопоставимый с Московским университетом и гораздо больше, чем, собственно, все остальные университеты. У нас более 40 тысяч студентов уже. Основная часть их в Москве, плюс еще 3 кампуса в Санкт-Петербурге, Нижнем Новгороде и в Перми. И у нас самый большой прием на магистерские программы в России. При этом Вышка уже давно такой мультидисциплинарный университет. И это, кстати говоря, особенность этой магистерской программы, что она не помещается в традиционные рамки economics или management или public administration. Она вот такая междисциплинарная комплексная программа. И она была так задумана специально, потому что многие современные направления просто не вмещаются в такие традиционные линейные рамки, так сказать, старых, в кавычках, классификации отраслей науки. Высшая школа экономики входит уже здесь, вы видите на экране, международные рейтинги. У нас уже порядка 5, даже больше позиций в топ-100 в различных международных рейтингах, в том числе во всех областях, которые имеют отношение к нашей магистерской программе. Как я уже сказал, она междисциплинарная, поэтому вот наши рейтинги в социологии, математике, экономикс и в ряде других дисциплин имеют прямое отношение к, собственно, тем компетенциям, которые вы будете изучать в рамках этой магистерской программы. Как я уже сказал, это самый большой научно-исследовательский институт Высшей школы экономики. Он существует уже 17 лет на базе команд, которые объединились под эгидой университета нашего. У нас, он действительно такой крупный институт. Он состоит из 12 разных исследовательских центров. Плюс у нас 2 международных научных лаборатории, которые возглавляют известные зарубежные ученые. Такой профессор Йен Майлз из университета Манчестера, а вторую лабораторию возглавляет профессор Джонатан Линтон из университета Шеффилда. Они довольно известные исследователи в области экономики, технологий и инноваций. Плюс к ним еще у нас работает порядка 10 зарубежных профессоров, которые читают лекции на этой магистерской программе. 2 из них, которые здесь работают постоянно, живут в Москве. Вот профессор Дирк Майснер и вот там профессор Ощан Саритас. Ощан, raise your hand. Они, так сказать, помимо того, что они активно участвуют в программе, они ведут несколько очень крупных курсов и многочисленные исследовательские проекты, в рамках которых у вас есть шанс поучаствовать, если вы на эту программу поступите. Но мы наш коллектив опубликовал порядка 200 с лишним статей в ведущих международных журналах. На 85% из них опубликованы в первых двух кварталах, верхних самых, в которые попасть довольно трудно. Наши сотрудники очень активно участвуют в международных конференциях, и многие студенты магистерской программы участвуют в качестве стажеров-исследователей в отдельных исследовательских и консалтинговых проектах, которые мы реализуем. Мы издаем журнал, он называется «Foresight and STI Governance». По-русски он называется просто «Foresight». Этот журнал входит, один из самых высоко цитируемых российских журналов по социальным наукам, входит в такие разные базы данных, если вам известно. И плюс у нас есть серия монографий международных Science, Technology, Innovation Studies в издательстве Springer Nature. И мы эту серию монографий поддерживаем довольно активно. Если говорить о тех направлениях, собственно, которыми мы занимаемся и которые представлены в магистерской программе, их, по-крупному их 3. Во-первых, это все, что касается измерений, статистики, индикаторов в сфере науки, технологий, инноваций. Как вы можете себе представить, довольно трудно говорить о какой-либо сфере, если не понимать, как она устроена, как она измеряется, какими показателями она характеризуется, и как, собственно, управленцы либо в государственных органах, либо в компаниях могут на эту сферу воздействовать, как оценивать эффекты вот от этих воздействий, кроме как через разного рода индикаторы. Поэтому очень важно понимать, собственно, какова природа вот тех областей, с которыми вы будете иметь дело, каковы показатели, характеризующие эти области, как эти показатели измеряются, как они считаются, откуда берется информация и так далее. И это действительно большая очень такая сфера наших занятий. Некоторые из выпускников этой магистерской программы, которые остались у нас потом работать, а кто-то поступил в аспирантуру PhD ряда таких зарубежных известных университетов, собственно, посвятили себя этой части нашей деятельности. Второй блок связан с анализом политики, но это тоже довольно широкая такая область, которая включает различные инструменты политики в сфере науки, технологий, инноваций и методы оценки этих инструментов политики. И тут опять связь со статистикой, индикаторами, различного рода такие концептуальные подходы к тому, что такое, собственно, инновационные системы на уровне стран, регионов, корпораций, проектирование корпоративных технологических и инновационных стратегий. Мы очень много занимаемся такого рода работами. Региональная политика в сфере науки, технологий и кластерная политика, которая примыкает к этому направлению. Это тоже предмет и исследовательских, и вполне практических наших интересов. Мы много работаем с различными регионами и компаниями в регионах, которые занимаются такого рода проблемами. И третье крупное направление – это форсайт. Это, собственно, предвидение перспектив развития различных секторов, регионов, компаний. Это очень крупное направление, которое связано со стратегическим планированием, стратегической аналитикой, формированием корпоративных или государственных стратегий разного рода. И здесь тоже есть свой инструментарий, свои подходы, которыми те, кто собираются заниматься, скажем, корпоративными стратегиями или стратегиями для различных отраслей экономики, для различных ведомств, регионов, должны овладеть. Собственно, без этого просто очень трудно, во-первых, понять современную повестку, во-вторых, успешно вписаться в спрос на рынке труда, будь то корпорации или государство. Если коротко. Плюс у нас существует очень серьезная такая исследовательская инфраструктура, и она вовлечена в нашу магистерскую программу. Это такая очень мощная электронная библиотека Высшей школы экономики. Она одна из самых лучших в России. У нас массовая подписка на многочисленные международные журналы, на аналитику, на базы данных, материалы консалтинговых компаний, международных организаций, книги, электронные, которые выпускают все ведущие, собственно, издательства. Плюс у нас есть такая система интеллектуального анализа больших данных. Вот если вы видели такой видеоролик, который здесь крутился на экране, это просто некие иллюстрации этой системы, в которой сегодня насчитывается там порядка 350 миллионов документов. Это реальная система анализа больших данных. Она автоматически пополняется ежедневно в объеме там, 30 тысяч документов в день. И это такой мощнейший инструментарий анализа, который не имеет аналогов в России, в каких-то других организациях. У нас очень широкий круг партнеров, включая и государственные ведомства, самые разные, и крупные компании. Здесь вы видите логотипы очень многих организаций, многие из них вам известны наверняка. У нас очень широкая сеть международных партнеров, включая все ведущие международные форсайт-центры, целый ряд университетов, которые ведут аналогичного рода исследования, реализуют аналогичные программы. У нас есть несколько программ двойных дипломов с рядом зарубежных университетов. Об этом тоже мы сейчас сегодня вам расскажем. Многие из этих партнеров принимают наших студентов и на стажировки, и на работу, поэтому, в общем, никто не остается безработным. Многие довольно успешно работают. Вот, скажем, один из наших выпускников, который был нами рекомендован на стажировку в ИСИЭЗ, потом вернулся у нас, доучился, потом 2 года работал в ИСИЭЗ, сейчас поступил на программу PhD в ЭТХ. Это технологический университет в Цюрихе, который является в международных рейтингах первым не англосаксонским университетом. Он там занимает примерно 12 место в мире. То есть много разных вариантов дальнейшего развития ваших карьер в госорганах или в бизнесе, или в науке, что тоже, кстати говоря, не последняя история. Ну и мы проводим много разных, я уже сказал, международных конференций. Вот 2 из них таких самых крупных. Это ежегодная апрельская конференция Высшей школы экономики, которая состоялась буквально очередная 20-я на прошлой неделе, где мы проводим такую довольно интенсивную секцию, которая длилась целых 3 дня. И осенняя конференция по форсайту and STI Policy, которая будет в этом году в ноябре. Вы сможете в ней поучаствовать, если поступите на нашу программу. И коротко завершая, какие, собственно, возможности наша программа предоставляет для тех, кто на ней учится. Во-первых, это международное продвижение определенное, это программы двойных дипломов и программы обмена. Вот здесь перечислены несколько университетов, с которыми мы партнерствуем. Технический университет Берлина, Маастрихтский университет, Сеульский национальный университет, университет Бремена. Здесь почему-то не указан университет Токио, с которым мы недавно заключили соглашение о студенческих обменах. ИСИЭЗ, это, кто знает, это Организация экономического сотрудничества и развития, это крупнейшая международная организация, которая является самым таким признанным think-tank'ом в области социально-экономической политики в мире. Центр социальных инноваций в Вене, и ряд других наших партнеров. У нас действительно гибкие образовательные траектории. Как я уже сказал, мы ориентированы на междисциплинарность этой программы, поэтому она устроена таким образом, что те, кто ориентированы, скажем, на работу в государственных органах или на работу в компаниях, могут подбирать для себя некие вариативные наборы курсов, ориентируясь на свою будущую карьеру, а при этом понимая, что, скажем, человек, который работает в госорганах, должен понимать, как устроен корпоративный бизнес, скажем, а с другой стороны, человек, который работает в компаниях, должен понимать, как устроена государственная политика, например, в этой сфере, очевидно совершенно. Мы предполагаем, что есть несколько базовых курсов общего назначения, которые важны для тех и для других. А на этой уже базовой основе потом формируются такие специализированные образовательные треки, нацеленные уже на такую сфокусированную карьеру. Мы поощряем, безусловно, участие наших студентов в исследовательских проектах. У нас порядка 60 студентов из Высшей школы экономики ежегодно участвуют в проектах на платной основе в разных объемах и разных масштабах. Какие-то студенты дальше более заинтересованные, скажем, в научной карьере, как-то у нас приживаются, остаются, дальше развиваются. Кто-то поступает в аспирантуру, кто-то активно участвует в консалтинговых проектах. То есть тоже такая карьера возможна вполне. Как я уже сказал, есть масса вариантов вовлечения в стажировки, практики и работу в крупных компаниях, в государственных ведомствах и даже в международных организациях. И, наконец, в вышке, конечно, активная очень студенческая жизнь, масса разного рода клубов, спортивных, культурных, разных научных клубов и так далее, где вы все сможете активно участвовать. Спасибо.
Like me. Okay, thanks a lot. So using technology is one thing, talking about it is another thing. So welcome here for our Open Doors Day, and I hope you don't mind me changing language to English. Since what we intend for the next 2 years, when you decide to enroll in our program, is that we speak English only. No German, no Chinese, no Russian. Working language is English. So our program is a very ambitious program. It is in English only. It has two main focus areas. One is about science, technology, innovation policy. It's an important, interesting topic where you learn what is a policy, how you design a policy, and how you implement a policy. At the same time, that goes for management, innovation management, technology management. So in principle, you will learn and you will see in the first year, you have to follow both streams, some basic introduction. In the second year, it's up in your hands to decide which is the topic I'm more interested in. We have a lot of elective courses, and you can define which are more relevant to you. Our faculty is, as our students, quite international. So we have 11 international foreign professors coming here, teaching, some of them full-time here at the spot, others coming part-time. That is a nice combination with our local professors, and I count myself local at that moment. Second, we have a strong focus and a strong ambition that we say HSE is a wonderful place and is a very strong university. But as a student, the best thing you can do is spend the time abroad. Demonstrate and show how you develop personally, how you develop your social skills, and that is the best to do. Go away from your hometown, go to a different country and survive it. That's what I did when I came here. I'm German. I jumped into the cold water and I survived Moscow for, 9 years now. And I don't regret a single second. The same I can tell you when you go abroad, say, to Germany, to Berlin, you will hate the city for the first moment, but then you love it. And in the end, you come with a much, much broader CV, and which helps you in the future career. We have a strong focus that we have not only theoretical teaching, so we are not an economics school where we tell you only about algorithms and formulas, but we apply it. So what you learn in a lecture is used and applied in a practical case, in a project work, in a case study or similar during a course. At the same time, you have to write academic papers. And here's the difference between a university and a business school. In a business school, this is for easy-to-take diploma. Why? You have to write a final thesis, and the teacher will give you a topic and will tell you the problem. But we at the university, we think you're intellectually more competent because we tell you only a topic, and you find the problem first. And the big challenge is find the problem. So an MBA only can solve a problem. You, as our graduate, you find the problem much more difficult and justify why there is a problem, which is a competence which will guide you throughout your career, quite for sure. That goes in line with our students, that you see it from our requirements, who do we accept as a student. We have no focus on a certain subject field, but you need to have a certain background in advance. Instead, we want to have a variety of backgrounds. It's much more interesting if you work in a project and then do some case study work with a multidisciplinary team. We have students with medicine background, arts, history. Okay, these are very special people. When you have mathematicians, you have management, economics, almost everything. And when you're a student and you work in such a cross-disciplinary, interdisciplinary team, you will learn how the different educational backgrounds match and meet together. If you make a mistake here, no problem. Later in your future career, in your professional life, you will always face the challenge people with different background. It's not a myth, it's reality. It's sometimes a bit difficult to solve problems in such constellations. But in your professional career, it's better not making a mistake. So when you make a mistake here, okay, you can solve it. In your professional career, not such a good thing. That's why better doing it already now. So having said that, let's have a quick look. Where do we focus and strengthen our attention? First is quite obvious, technology innovation management. That covers the simple question, what is an innovation? And how do I convert an idea into an economically viable solution which earns revenues? Sounds very simple, but in reality, let me tell you, around 1 or 2% of all ideas you might have make it into commercial success. The challenge is, how do you detect these ideas and bring them successfully in the market? That requires a systemic thinking. That requires a structured, creative approach. If you're kept in a silo, you're not creative. But we got some idea how you open up your mindset. That is in line as well with a long-term perspective. That's what we call foresight and strategic planning. Not only thinking in quarterly terms, but having a long-term perspective. A company is only successful when you have a long-term perspective. Sure, you need to earn money on a short note, but you want to have a sustainable business. Not only today, but for the next 10, 20 years. At the same time, that all happens in a certain framework, which is a policy framework, science, technology, innovation policy, which gives the basic infrastructure that provides the funding or legal framework and all these issues under which the corporate companies exist and they do their business. And last but not least, it's always interesting to see how do I measure science, how do I measure technology or innovation in two dimensions. First dimension, at the country level, you always read it in the news or when you come and say Switzerland is highly innovative, Russia is not so innovative or whatever. How do you measure that? At the same time, inside a company, what do you want to do? You want to measure the value of an idea. You want to assess what is the progress in our innovation project. You need some indicators doing that. But we are not business management, we are not accountants, so we are a little bit broader in our perspective. But it's mainly what we have here, and that's exactly what you will find in the courses. I gave you here a brief overview about the courses which you see, and you see it already, the core courses in the first year. We give you some basic idea, how do you write a scientific academic paper. Then we discuss strategies for innovation, we discuss project management for innovation, and competitive intelligence. It's very, very strong for innovation management. When we look at economics of innovation, which is the policy-related issues, and the measurement and the foresight part complementary. Elective courses also in the first year, you can choose finance of innovation, corporate entrepreneurship, and regional policy for innovation. Now we structure the course the first year in a shape that in the first semester it's long courses, so you have to be here all the time. But in the second semester, starting January, you might have a chance going for exchange already. It's more modular and it's more compact, not endlessly long courses, but more student-friendly. At that time, you will have to write a term paper, which is say a master thesis, a slim master thesis, which checks already and provides you an insight and idea. How do you solve a problem? How do you find a problem? How do you solve the problem? That's the first thing. In our papers, in all academic papers you have to write, we have a twofold approach. First, write a paper, and second, stand in front of a commission and defend your work. It would be boring if you write only a paper, nobody cares. But if you have then a communication, and you defend and you demonstrate how smart the solution is, cool thing to do. That helps you also with certain competences. In the second year, what you see here is suddenly courses, only a few. That is for a research seminar which helps you for the master thesis, and the second is the most challenging, run by Yuri Traniev, which is called the project seminar. The project seminar, what do we do here? We will ask you, have an idea and write a business plan. This business plan will be defended in the end against a professional commission. So in a very broad sense, it can be a business plan, either you want to establish a spin-off or you have an innovation idea you want to defend and you will support and finance inside the corporation. So it's very hands-on, very practical, applicable knowledge and competence which you win there. The elective courses is a very, very broad range of elective courses. You have to choose only 2 out of these. But if you are keen and you want to do more elective courses, feel free to do so. There is nothing against taking more courses when needed. That can be then accounted for adaptive courses or similar. Now the courses, what I said, is always a combination of lecturing and case studies. In the research seminar, we look and we have quite comprehensive instruction about how do you collect information, how do you process information, that is literature work. That also helps you to carry out your research work independently. You have a supervisor who can give you an advice. But mainly, you have to do it absolutely on your own, and you have to discuss that. That is kind of the rhetoric skills, that is kind of demonstrating how strong you are. The term paper and the master thesis, I mentioned already, and in the summertime or in the second year, you should go for an internship which is related to the program. The internship can take place at many, many places. It can be internship at a university, research organization, company, ministry, whatever. We do not have strict requirements that we say you can go only to a certain number of institutions. Instead, we insist if you find a place for an internship to take, which is productive and supportive for a future career, feel free to do it. We support it, as long as it's in the scope of the program. Now, last but not least for the courses, each year, in the first year and in the second year, you have to choose and perhaps take a massive open online course. It's such an online course, we have 10 courses to choose from in the first year and 10 in the second year. Up to you which of these courses you take. So it's no strict requirement that we dictate which course you have to take, but it's 10 different courses. You only have to take an examination in the end. And you see already here the topics are quite different. By purpose, we selected courses which are in the scope of the program and which are read and offered by the leading universities, including London, including Michigan, Virginia, Vanderbilt, also including Stanford courses and such things. Few words about faculty, you see it here. Actually, well, the absolute minority is not holding a doctorate degree. So quite well-qualified, not quite, extremely well-qualified faculty members. I don't have the exact number, but I think around 40% female, 60% male, approximately. So Yes, that is. I can say we put a lot of emphasis on gender mainstreaming. We support, but it doesn't matter. But it makes a broad spectrum. The internationality, the same here. Admission statistics to give you the idea about how many applicants we have and how many students are enrolled. Approximately, we come to 3 students applying, 1 student enrolled. Approximately. It could be more applications this year, less enrollments. We don't know exactly. We cannot say now. In any case, once having offered a place, being accepted for the program, that is already very much a success since we do not enroll everybody. Now, for this enrollment, we put a lot of emphasis on your personality and your motivation. Why do you want to be in this program? What makes it so interesting? I very much love to be very provocative and simply saying, this program is awfully boring and you can study anywhere in the world. Now give me 2 or 3 good arguments why you think it's not the case. I know exactly the program is not boring. Definitely not. But up to you to convince us that this program is the right and the best for you. And here, what I want to know is, are you willing, are you keen on further developing the program to make it even better for the next generation, the next cohort of students? We do not assume this program being something static. Definitely not. This is very lively. We develop it further every year, and we have some first-year students now in the room. They can confirm certainly when we see the elective courses for the second year, we will tell you, oops, that's the first time I see that. We don't know it yet, even because we extend the list of courses. And why do we do so? We see what the labor market, what the companies require, which competences and skills do they want. And that is the where we react and we say, accordingly, we offer the courses which we need. Now, mobility, to come to your point, you saw it when you entered the building. You saw that it shows the HSE logo and a few logos in addition, which is a Korean, Seoul National, which is a Dutch, Maastricht University, which is an Italian, Torino, and which is a German, Technical University, Berlin. So this is one thing we have, double degree programs. And let me tell you, double degree for us means you study 1 year in Moscow and 1 year away. We don't want to see you for 1 year. In the end, you have 2 diplomas. You have an HSC diploma and you have a diploma from Seoul, Berlin, or whatever. Now to make it more attractive even, the HSC diploma gives you the Masters in Management. In case of Seoul and Torino, you earn the second diploma as Master of Engineering. That is a cool thing. Seoul National Engineering, my gosh, Asia, everybody knows that's the top place, followed, only second ranked after Tsinghua in Beijing. That's where you have 2 fully different professional diploma. This is full-fledged diploma, it's not certificates, it's full diploma. Maastricht gives you Master of Science, Berlin gives you also Master of Science. So it's complementary and that is a wonderful qualification. I think our company experts, our professionals, we can probably tell you a bit more about that. If you're a little bit less enthusiastic about going abroad for 1 year, do it for 1 semester. You can go to Ankara, Middle East University, that is the leading Turkish institution. It's leading in the area. It's very good in Imetu and Bremen or in Seoul, where you go just for 1 semester. What about Tokyo? There are 1, 2, 3 more agreements upcoming. We didn't list them here because we didn't sign the agreements yet. But I can tell you, Tokyo, Japan, when the Netherlands, Utrecht is a wonderful place. Whoever is keen on learning how to ride a bicycle, go to Utrecht. Utrecht is the bicycle city par excellence, but Utrecht is strongly driven by Philips. Philips Eindhoven and Utrecht, this is actually one. And we are very strong in technology innovation management, extremely strong. It's the top place in the Netherlands for that topic. Then, I forgot one. Yes, China. China is also following up with Beijing, with the Tsinghua University. Latin America is also coming, but it's something to announce next year after everything is written. So that is for our students, you have an extreme broad range of opportunities, and we strongly encourage you to take advantage of that. That is for the... Now, when you see these universities, it's not only the point, or it's not only the fact that we want you to go there, but also the teachers from there coming here for a certain time, giving selected courses. That is meant to ensure that we are not only teaching what we think is the right, because it comes here from Miasnitskaya, but it is an extended range of inputs and insight and inspirations which you receive from our colleagues abroad. Now, maybe one important slide or one important information here about application. Application period starts in June, and it ends July 31st. Right after that, we invite you to come here and we hold an interview. Interviews are 30 minutes long. For the interview, don't ask me what we will ask you. We have no standardized set of interview questions. We do not. Instead, an interview is like an informal talk. You will see 3 teachers sitting in a room and having a talk to you. Now, coming back to gender mainstreaming, you will never see a commission of 3 male teachers or 3 female teachers. Always mixed. Definitely. So this is also, now let me put it in very open words, we want to make sure that you do not have 3 male teachers here who all have a preference for a certain female applicant hair color. Never ever. So just make sure it's not biased, but it's objective. Yeah. The dancing school. What you should also do is pay a lot of attention when you prepare a motivation letter. That's the most important part. And let me tell you what you should not write in the motivation letter. Don't write that HSE is a wonderful university. We know it. Don't write the program is the best. That's also what we know. The first impression, when you start saying wonderful university, cool program, we stop reading because we think, oh my gosh, what does he want or she want? Give us a clear message why you are so good for this program. You apply. It's not that you market the program. Just tell us why is your person contributing and making that whole thing even better. A last information here, maybe it's a nice inspiration for you as well. Our program ensures the pleasure now undergoing accreditation by the European Foundation Management Development, which is the leading quality sign, certificate, whatever, for management education in Europe. Confident to have that process done last year. We are among the top 10% management education programs in Europe already because we mastered and we were eligible for this accreditation, which is not widespread, not common practice and standard in Russia. So that is another quality assurance certificate which tells us we are quite good.
Please, feedback. A small point, but a really important one. So you have to take care of your writing English, because when we read sometimes the applications, they are written so poorly that we cannot really accept some applicants. So take care of the language, and also take care of your portfolio, which you demonstrate to us. So you have to think of your achievements, which are relevant specifically to this program and to our university. So diplomas, publications, certificates, certainly what is mentioned on this slide, valid English language certificates, which are important for some of you who would like to join double degree programs, because that will be specifically taken care of by our partner universities. And also, you have to think of maybe something special in your portfolios which make you really attractive to the admission committee, like recommendations from your teachers, from your universities, or something else. So really think of demonstrating your specific achievements. Sorry.
That reminds me one more thing. When you prepare the application portfolio, don't ask anybody for help, because you're coming for interview at that latest, at that moment when you're sitting in the room and we have the talk, it becomes obvious, did you do it on your own or did somebody else do it? It's about you, and you're strong enough, so you don't need the help of anybody else. Delete Google Translate or things like that. It's not needed. In the end, we are not a language school. But we expect a motivation, and we expect to see a will to contribute and a will to take. It's always a give and take. That also leads me to tell you, what do we expect a student to be? The worst which can happen is if we have a class and the student sits in the class and falling asleep almost. I want the students to raise their voice during the class and ask questions or give comments. It's more lively, it's more entertaining for the teacher, it's more challenging for the student itself. Because from that also gives a feedback to us, how to develop further. We're not standing still, we are not reading out a book. That's important. Second important announcement here is, and my colleagues will hate me for that again, we have an unwritten rule, and the philosophy is, if a student has a request, sends a request by email, we respond to your request within 24 hours. A 2 and a 4. Within 1 day. For the simple reason, if you have something which we should solve, we should do it right away immediately, and not collecting all your requests and coming back 2 weeks later. We don't do it. But if you send a request on Saturday evening, don't expect us to respond by Sunday. Leave us the weekend. But by Monday, definitely we do. We didn't write it down anywhere, and we will not write it down anywhere and publish it at the website or whatsoever. This is our self-understatement. This is how we understand and how we should respect and accept each other. It's important to us to show our respect to the students. We know we are teachers, we are professors. Nice thing. But we are all human beings. That's why let's treat each other in a very mutual respect-driven shape and sense. We can learn from each other, and that is why we are here for. So that should be all from my side for the moment. Looking forward to your questions and looking forward to your applications.
Слышно? Уважаемые абитуриенты, разрешите представить вам Наталью Ямрас. Она расскажет нам о компетенциях. Да, мы вас приглашаем, если можно, президиум к нам поближе. Это руководитель направления привлечения и отбора талантов в агентстве инноваций Москвы. Давайте поприветствуем.
Добрый вечер. Как меня представили уже, зовут Наталья Ямрас, и я занимаюсь развитием персонала в агентстве инноваций Москвы. Наша организация – это проектный офис правительства Москвы. В нашем портфеле порядка 15 проектов, и, по сути, мы являемся площадкой для коммуникаций между малым и средним предпринимательством и городом. Наши проекты направлены как на привлечение инновационных решений от зарубежных партнеров, так и на международное продвижение Москвы в глобальных рейтингах. И буквально вчера у нас была радостная новость. Москва вошла в топ-10 городов мира по уровню развития экосистемы инноваций, опередив такие высокоразвитые города, как Шанхай, Токио, Амстердам и Стокгольм. И, в частности, в решении данной задачи участвовали и наши коллеги. Одним из блоков моей работы является организация практик и стажировок для студентов. И в этой работе для меня важно соблюдать баланс между интересами и навыками студентов и ожиданиями руководителей проектов. На практике часто бывают случаи, когда приглашаешь кандидата с уверенными знаниями в предметной области, но он выходит в компанию и не дает ожидаемого результата. Дипломы, сертификаты, подтверждающие теоретические знания – это, конечно, все прекрасно, но в современных реалиях работодатель большое внимание уделяет гибким навыкам. На эту тему было очень много высказано суждений, мнений лидеров от президента до руководителей бизнеса. Лично мне очень нравится высказывание Германа Грефа, в котором он говорит, что побеждают те, кто инвестировал в гибкие навыки. Но при этом, несмотря на популярность данных навыков, мы все еще сталкиваемся с проблемой, когда выпускники не придают им достаточного внимания, несмотря на то, что именно эти навыки делают вас более востребованными и высокооплачиваемыми на рынке. Востребованность данных навыков выглядит как пирамида. Чем выше вы на карьерной лестнице, тем больше вам необходимо именно гибких навыков и чуть меньше потребность hard skills. Я общаюсь очень много с руководителями проектов, которые, в частности, принимают студентов из Высшей школы экономики. И мы провели небольшой срез, аудит, уточнили, какие навыки, например, нашим коллегам интересно было бы увидеть у студентов. И коллеги выделили 4 крупных блока. Это навыки коммуникации, мышление, self-management и управление командой. Поскольку мы проектный офис и всегда работаем в сжатые сроки, важно справляться и как с дедлайнами, так и управлять своими эмоциями. При этом также коллегам очень важно видеть не только вашу задачу на какой-то короткий отрезок времени, им важно, чтобы вы видели картинку в целиком, то есть развивали свое системное мышление. Рекомендации на самом деле очень банальны, и данных рекомендаций придерживаемся, в частности, мы, наши коллеги. Это, конечно же, саморазвитие, изучение литературы, развитие своей насмотренности никто не отменял. Проектная работа, чем больше у вас будет возможности участвовать в каких-то исследовательских программах, либо стажировках во время обучения, тем больше вы будете развивать свои гибкие навыки. И, конечно же, это работа с наставником. У нас в организации принято каждому новому стажеру назначать его наставника, гуру, который будет помогать не только погружать в предметную область, но также и развивать все те перечисленные до навыки, для успешного продвижения и по проекту, и в дальнейшем уже вне нашей организации. И закончить хотелось бы выражением, что soft skills — это то, что делает хорошего выпускника отличным кандидатом, специалистом. У нас 22 апреля будет мероприятие для студентов Москвы, и, пользуясь случаем, хотела бы пригласить вас на данное мероприятие. Подробную информацию я могу вам озвучить после завершения мероприятия. На данном мероприятии наши коллеги будут рассказывать о проектах, о результатах полученных, и мы расскажем о программе стажировок, которую запускаем, собственно, с июня этого года. Поэтому, если вам интересно, можете либо в социальных сетях, на почту писать, и также подходите после завершения мероприятия, отвечу на любые ваши вопросы. Спасибо.
С места Леонид Маркович буду вещать.
Так, коллеги, студенты-абитуриенты, разрешите представить Анастасию Юрлову из Сбербанка. Это у нас расскажет про талантливую молодежь, навыки, компетенции, которые вы будете приобретать, которые вам будут нужны при трудоустройстве в такие ведущие компании, например, Сбербанк. Настя поподробнее расскажет.
Так, меня слышно? Сейчас будет слышно. По-русски, по-английски? Russian, English? Up to you, actually, I don't mind. Русский, английский? Всем? Без разницы.
Do you understand Russian? Maybe we'll continue in English.
Okay, sure. So my name is Anastasia and I represent Sberbank. Sberbank is the biggest bank in Russia. And it recently went through a major transformation. So we looked for the new competences, we looked for the new kind of people, and we reestablished for ourselves what kind of people we are looking for and why should we look for them. I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about that. How can I switch this slide? Oh, okay. On this slide, I wanted to show what kind of strategy priorities do we have and what kind of professions, new kind of professions Sberbank has and what kind of professions you can choose for yourself and why. The first priority for Sberbank is best client experience and ecosystem. You can see that it's like product client development, personalized offers, omni-channels, ecosystem development. What does it mean? It means that for our clients, we want to offer them what they need, when they need this, and we want to offer all kind of products that complement each other to deepen our relations with clients and to prolong relations with clients. So what kind of new professions it developed? What kind of new professions it created? It's product owners, product developers. This is new kind of profession on the market. I think it could be interesting for you. And customer journey experts. Those both professions, they work on building client experience and developing what client really need. The second strategy is leadership in technologies, safety and effectiveness, a new platform that Sberbank is building currently, and data-driven approach to build models instead of like simple work of people and innovations. Sberbank recently opened laboratories, a lot of laboratories actually, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, blockchain, VR, many labs. Those labs, they do applied science to build in this science into customer products, to even make the client experience even better. And the third priority is people with new competences in effective teams. New competences teams instead of hierarchy culture. We have a new type of professions, agile coaches, transformation leaders, and so on. Agile coaches, they work with teams and they help teams to build their own processes. They help tribes to build their own processes. And they organize the whole structure. They make things inside of teams work. They help product owners, they help everybody in the tribe, they help everybody around to organize their own work efficiently. So this is priorities and professions. Recently, our leader, Herman Gref, he made a new story or old story about the perfect employee, John, the new kind of employee that every company is looking for. And you can see the qualities, the competences of the kind of new employee. The main thing is execution. We're looking for a person who achieves whatever the goal is. And the person who does not look for excuses, who does not ask too many questions, who doesn't explain why this is not going to work, who just does work and does this work the best way possible. It's the main type of employees that we are looking for. And also the pyramid of leaders' competences. Like in the lower part of the pyramid are hard skills, and it's long-term reactive adaptations. The middle part is soft skills plus the competences of 2020. And you could see them on the previous slide, and it's predictive adaptation. You can develop it relatively fast. And the top is strong competences. It's pre-adaptation. When you just start looking for the trend and you already adapt for the trend that is coming, it's John's competences. And the perfect manager, in Sberbank, he develops himself, he creates productive atmosphere in the team, the atmosphere that helps everybody to work with a little stress, with risk tolerance, with creative approach in the team, and also the great leader, he delegates the work to his team and he inspires the team. This is what I wanted to tell you today. If you have any questions, please ask.
Questions? Don't be shy, just ask questions to all the speakers we have for today, especially about the application criteria, for instance. Okay, my name is Jamila. I am a study office manager or program coordinator or whatever you call it, just about the study process. We have very respected speakers today, and you're very welcome to ask your questions, because now we are going to switch to the session, kind of interactive session with Sofia Chernogortseva. Okay? About your portfolio, how to make your portfolio successful, because that is the only criteria we have in the interview. Professor Meissner, Dr. Meissner has already started speaking about the application criteria, so let us continue then. Okay, Sofia?
Okay. Okay, so let's make it a little more relaxed. So I'll tell you the story that this is the second year that I'm doing kind of a application session, and every time this day, this week, this month comes along with the new season of Games of Thrones, and every year I'm like putting in my presentation some characters from Games of Thrones because I think it's kind of reflects all the characters, the skills that should be in your portfolio, but then I feel embarrassed and take them off. And in order to make me little bit confident in my next year, I'd like to ask the question, is there anybody here who doesn't know what is Game of Thrones? Oh, really?
Does know or does?
Does not. Does not. Okay. So, yeah. I will be telling you about the successful portfolio and reflect it with the characters of Game of Thrones. Okay. Can I see my... Yeah. Yes. Да. But first of all, I will introduce my colleagues who respectfully joined me in this session. Anastasia Nazarenko, Professor Yuri Dranyov, and Ekaterina Islankina, and they will be glad to answer your questions on the portfolio, on the, I'll show you the puzzle with the portfolio and the, I said something wrong? I'm sorry. Mikhail Gershman.
I don't mind not participating
Sorry,
in this.
Mikhail Gershman. Yeah. And Mikhail Gershman. And I will be telling you about the different parts of the portfolio. And my colleagues will be pleased to answer the questions on these specific parts if you have questions. And don't be shy. I'll try to do it in a very relaxed way. Imagine that you're my friends and I'm telling you like, oh, are you going to apply? Okay, let's do this and this in portfolio. I know that Katya will ask you, I know that Katya will ask you these specific questions. I know Dirk will ask you these specific questions and just be prepared for this. Okay. Okay, yeah.
Sophie.
But I know, you already told us that you will be looking on portfolio. Yeah, okay. I'd better see my slide actually.
We'll bring you. And is it possible if we have our first year students joining the session because they have experienced this? And I mean, they experienced that a year ago. They know what portfolio and what the interview is and how to be interviewed by our colleagues, faculty members. Let me introduce, if possible, then after the presentation, okay?
Okay, so we'll start with the first part. It's almost the same when you're providing your portfolio or you're providing your CV. It's almost the same. This is a big part with the work experience and education. I bet you all know that your education and work experience and project results and affiliations will, in a success way, will give you 40 points. So let's start with the work experience. We always start from the end.
So you're choosing your last job and trying to put it in this way. Your functions in a very short way and your project results. Actually, I used to work with Anastasia in Sberbank, and I was working on the graduate applications. And just believe me, when any person trying to understand your experience, the person is interested in your project results better than in your, I don't know, functions that you were doing, I don't know, business administration, or I don't know, you were doing admission, or you're doing some operational work. So within the functions, you are putting your project results. In this particular job, I was working on 1, 2, 3 projects, and here the results of projects. Plus to it, please put your affiliations. I call these affiliations, but these are the wide range of your achievements, including conference participations, participations in every club or society, or even participation in a selection committee. If someone took a participation in any selection committee, this is your affiliation. Plus to it, if you were gaining any awards within this specific job, you will put this award in your job, in your work experience part. Talking about education, I will give you the simple example. When we in the business companies or an application process regard your, here's the puzzle. Here's the puzzle of the successful portfolio, and I put the points that will reflect the 3 parts of your application: work experience plus education, and project results, conference, affiliations, awards. Then motivation letter, hard skills, and soft skills. So now we're talking about hard skills. For example, I've graduated the Moscow English Grammar School. It was long ago, but in case you are seeing that you are gaining 20 points, if your English is good, you should put it in your education. This is the only grammar school. This is before the bachelor's, but put it, and it will give you some more points, and the commission will take it. Then what you can put in your hard skills, not only English. For example, you know some IT programming languages. You know how to use some business programs. Just put it briefly. It is okay. It will give you some more points because everybody will know that you're an experienced person. Plus to it, publications and soft skill. Publications, Dirk already told you about the publication, that it will be the plus. Attach these publications if you have them, for sure. And talking about the soft skills, if you will be providing those 2 soft skills that Anastasia mentioned in her presentations, critical thinking, teamwork, what else? What else did you remember? Motivation. Communication, yeah, it's self-management, that it will be also the plus. And you see, I didn't mention your hobbies. You know, sometimes in the end of CV or portfolio, whatever, we put hobby. I did it for the matter of the motivation letter. When you're writing motivation letter, you can mention your hobby, you put it in line with your wish to enter the program. Do you understand me? Let's try? Okay, so who will be the first?
To ask the question?
What is your hobby?
My hobby, well, now I'm playing the guitar. It's my main hobby now.
It's your main hobby.
Use the microphone.
Yeah. Okay, you're playing the guitar.
Yeah, hello, I'm playing the guitar. It's my main hobby, at least these 2 years.
Okay, so why do you playing the guitar? Why is it important for you?
Well, it's some kind of historical consequence, and I like music. It helps me in my life very much, but I want it a bit more, not just listening to music. When I listen to it, I imagine some kind of creativity from the singer, and I want it just do the same. So this is kind of enlightenment.
Mm-hmm. Can you put it in line with your motivation to enter the innovation program, the STI program?
I think no.
Why?
I won't have enough words to speak about it. Well, I mean, I will have too many words to say about why I want to apply here. So there won't be enough space for talking about hobbies.
Okay, so now why am I asking this question? This is a motivation. In nowadays, in the very, very speed life, when you're talking about hobby, or when you're talking about education, when you're talking about work, you should feel pretty much the same. And what's your name? Sergey. Do you remember how Sergey was motivated? And he had enough words to explain this creativity from playing the guitar, this motivation on hobby. If you try to think this way on your motivation to educate yourself and to get some knowledge and to change your life after graduating from this program, I think this will be, I don't know, Dirk, I think this will be the best motivation letter. Plus to it, well, you will put all these puzzle things, work experience, education, project result affiliations, and awards in order to get 40 points. But see, your work experience and education and your motivation letter gets the same quantity of points. So this is it from me. If you have questions, just let make it in a Q&A session, and my colleagues will help me. You can ask question on the specific parts.
Oh, I have to.
Okay.
The first question: in what language should I write the recommendation letter, which will be signed by some kind of person, by the representative of my or university?
I think both. Yeah? Both. Depends on the recommendation person.
So
No,
it's,
the first question is, what language do you mean first? Where are you from?
I'm from Russia.
What university did you graduate from?
High School of Economics.
Perfect. And provide a letter from anyone in either language, I think. Because we have the committee from faculty members, as well as Russian and English. And Ekaterina, please.
And we can read both, actually, and understand both. So any language is acceptable.
Is it just the questions about the application process or in general about the program?
General, any question.
Yeah, so my question is, what sort of hard skills are we going to approach in this program? I mean, like, management and everything it's interesting, it's fine, but what sort of hard skills set are we going to get at the end?
A lot in a shape. First of all, the basic strategy development, strategy design, portfolio management. That includes hard skills, facts, counting, calculating, all that stuff. That includes hard skills for designing tools and instruments for doing empiric research. Some call it market research, where you have to design a questionnaire. That is part of that. So that's the hard skills. That's pretty much the standard facts which you learn for the management part. Soft skills, well, up to you in the first instance, but second, that is where we assist since doing case work and project group work, we push you. We push you to interact with the soft skills. We push you to present and stand in front of the audience and have the courage to tell us how illiterate we are. So it's the personal development. It's, well, I think, more measurable of the hard skills, for sure. Plus, when you take the chance of mobility, it gives you even more soft skills. The hard skills are fixed, but the hard skills is what you get everywhere. Except, maybe we should stress the fact here. When Professor Gockberg showed the scientific output from the institute, be aware that what is published as scientific output from the institute, this is actually included in the teaching. So we are not teaching state-of-the-art 50 years ago. We are teaching state-of-the-art today and tomorrow. We are strong enough and confident enough.
And also, I had a question of how are we going to interact with current technologies? I mean, like all of the current trends, like technology-wise, especially this question is relevant because of the double degree programs which you announced, with Seoul University, where you're actually getting an engineering degree from them. So how's that relevant at all?
That is a wonderful trick, because they have the degree and the programs all are the same for Polytutory now. It's run by the College of Engineering, but it is the same standardized approaches and procedures we teach here. So when we talk about a technology portfolio, we teach it here and they teach it there. But for formal reason, they cannot issue a master in management, that's why it's a master in engineering. So it does not mean that you stand in the lab and you start designing, developing the next generation of 3D printers. That will not happen. What happens is that the classes take place inside the College of Engineering. And teachers are both with engineering background and management background. Kind of a, not schizophrenic, but Twitter-like people. So when you are there and you stand in that auditorium, it's a huge auditorium with a glass, and behind the glass wall you see the lab. So you can actually interact there, not like in a management program only, where we talk and we take a pen and we draw some nice formulas. Where you can go also directly in the laboratory.
And as for the education here, like the process, how are we going to be exposed to technology, like at all? Like, is it going to be like through like some sort of partnerships, or maybe like the part which I'm really interested in is technology, and how are we getting exposed to that?
Well, there's a slight difference. We are talking about managing technology. That means technology assessment, that means life cycles, roadmaps and such things, but not in the practical case, in the practical development part. As a case study, yes. Example work, yes. The direct interactions up to you during daytime. Oh, maybe I should stress the fact that teaching is always 6 to 9 p.m. So daytime is free. And the internship part. But so there won't be any direct interaction in a physical laboratory or similar.
Thank you.
There should be a few more questions. Come on. I just let me quote my supervisor. My PhD supervisor told me always, if I don't ask you anything, I didn't listen to you. So just be creative, have the courage. Nothing can happen to you. We don't take notes of who's asking how many questions, who's asking, who's challenging, or whatsoever. No, we don't. Come on.
Hello. Okay, actually, how do you see your ideal graduate in science, business, or some commercial big firm?
Can you repeat it?
Okay, how do you see your ideal graduate? Should be he scientist or businessman or manager in some big commercial firm?
The ideal graduate leaves HSE and 5 years later comes back and says, I'm happy with my life. Very, very simple, because I will not say we are only happy if you make a career in the Ministry of Economic Development or in that institution. No, we have such a broad range of fields where you can use and apply the knowledge and the competences. The main thing for us is indeed that you keep loyal to us, that we still talk to each other even after graduation. Not so that we say, oh my gosh, what was this? And you say, oh, what a waste of time. So that is the ideal candidate. It's a person who is happy and lucky and satisfied. Yeah. Very simple. This is our ambition. It's very high.
Any other questions?
Yeah, good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished speakers. I'm from Nigeria. My name is Emmanuel. Yeah, I just want to ask simply, when you talk about double degree program, there will be some students, international students, who may be lucky to be on scholarship, proposed scholarship recipients. Are they going to benefit from this double degree program? Or, some may be on partial, some may be on full scholarship. Are they going to be beneficiary of this double degree, moving to another country without paying, I don't understand, how is that possible when you get full scholarship in the country and you're moving to another country with the same scholarship? I don't know if that is possible. They have to sponsor themselves to gain this second diploma in that country.
In principle, what we will just bear in mind, in principle education, master's level, was always a tuition fee based. We have some scholarships available, that is true. But when it comes for exchange double degree, it's fully in the responsibility of the individual having a look for funding sources, financial sources. There are different funding opportunities for the German part, that is the guys, the AAD, Leninsky Prospect. We have funding schemes. We were successful for the German parts to attract scholarships for our students going to Berlin. We will talk about that in June, July, when giving the information for that. We have possibilities for scholarships via Coros Tech to the Korean part. We have some nice connection and relations for scholarships in the Dutch part, in the Netherlands. But we do not have a dedicated fund and budget here available where we can say, yes, those who want to go, we can finance that. In the first instance, in the student's responsibility to check out about financial support there.
So now let us start with the interactive session, if you don't mind. Я переключусь на русский. Если кому-то непонятно, можно задать вопросы. Мы предлагаем интерактивную сессию построить следующим образом. У нас интервью по отбору студентов на нашу программу строится следующим образом. Вы сначала сдаете портфолио в период приема документов, это с 1 июня по 31 июля. Комиссия отсматривает ваше портфолио, приглашает вас на интервью. Комиссия по рассмотрению на интервью состоит из 3 преподавателей нашей магистерской программы. Мы сейчас предлагаем таким образом и построить сессию, то есть вы презентуетесь, задаете вопросы, которые у вас возникают по портфолио. У нас есть уважаемые преподаватели здесь, есть студенты первого курса, которых я уже ранее представила, причем есть и иностранные студенты. Джанберг, День, Геннадий. Кстати, едет у нас на программу 2 дипломов с Сеульским национальным университетом. Екатерина едет на программу 2 дипломов с университетом Маастрихта. Дарья. Предлагаем сейчас вам принять участие в интерактивной сессии. Попробуйте презентовать свои самые важные навыки, которые вы хотели бы рассказать комиссии, о которых вы хотели бы рассказать комиссии, которые помогут вам поступить на магистерскую программу.
Можно, Джамиля, можно еще дополню? Вот
Да, Иван.
Несколько моментов. Ну, я не абитуриент, сразу скажу, чтобы... Тогда я буду по-русски говорить, потому что ведь только абитуриенты, я смотрю, говорят по-английски. Хотел бы сказать, выразить благодарность, то, что пригласили посетить. Мне 30 лет, я представляю уже средний бизнес города Санкт-Петербурга, ну, чтобы сразу акценты расставить. Хотел бы сначала справедливость восстановить, потому что был прекрасный доклад от Анастасии Юрловой от Сбербанка. Я понимаю, что, может, к Сбербанку разное может быть отношение, но я хотел бы, наверное, чтобы все поблагодарили, потому что это было правильно все сказано, то, что нужно, на что обращать внимание при дальнейших шагах после образования. Поэтому, если не против, аплодисменты Анастасии Юрловой за ее прекрасное выступление. И что бы я хотел сказать, что на самом деле я вот смотрю на Successful Portfolio, я вот сам даже думаю, вообще, смогу ли я поступить в данную высшую школу экономики, потому что вроде бы work experience у меня есть, вот, motivation letter я бы писал, что надо бы восстановить английский, потому что, к сожалению, в hard skills я уже чуть-чуть не попадаю, вот, и когда... У меня единственное хобби, наверное, уже в 30 лет, замечу, в 30, а вы еще все молодые, там 18 минус. Вот, это my job, и когда ты джобишь 24/7, то, конечно, наверное, грустно немножко становится. Поэтому хотел бы пожелать всем успехов, и главное, не теряйтесь и идите к своей цели. Спасибо.
Спасибо большое, Иван. Так, ну что, Софья? Возьмешь слово, пожалуйста.
I don't know, по-русски скажу. У нас будет 3 группы, если вы не против. Одна группа работодателей, Наталья, Анастасия. Вы можете подойти и просто свое, your personal, your individual portfolio, your presentation to the specific group of corporate. Corporate group, let's call it corporate group, to this группа Анастасии и Юрий, преподаватели, тоже можно подойти к ним, сделать презентацию себя, они вас скорректируют. И группа Екатерина, Михаил. И группа Софья, Асчан. And the group Софья and Асчан. Okay, so you can come personally and present yourself. We will give you a very, very individual, particular, detailed recommendations.
И студенты, давайте присоединимся тоже к группам, к существующим. Вы расскажете немножко...
Немножко другое предложение. Мы можем занять тех, кто есть вопросы. Мы можем вам рассказать, пока кто-то будет презентовать группу. Мы можем с вами поговорить, потому что у нас занятия отлично.
Так, давайте еще раз, да, у нас есть студенты. Have students here, you can ask questions to the students. To those who already know what interview is, how to enroll to this program, how to apply for that.
We will be there. If you have
any questions about the study programs,